Hey everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gentleman. I'm Topher and I started this channel because I'm a fan of craft beers, but I'm on a limited budget, so I wanted to demonstrate it was possible to enjoy good quality beers without having to break the bank. So most of the beers that I review on this channel come in around the $2 price range, and such is the case with today's selection. I paid $1.99 for the 12-ounce can of Blueberry Hefeweizen by Wasatch Brewing. If you are familiar with Wasatch, if you're not familiar with Wasatch, but you are familiar with Squatters, you're basically familiar with the same brewery. They are in fact the same brewery, the same guys doing the same things. It's an outfit out of Salt Lake City. I'm not going to get too far into it, and I don't want to offend too many people, but let's just say that the boys at Wasatch and Squatters, they really, really like antagonizing a certain organization that you find predominantly throughout Salt Lake City. And I'll just leave it at that. I myself have reviewed 9 of their beers, and have sampled 9 of their beers with an average score of 3.59. This beer has a 4.8 ABV. Typically, Hefeweizens come in between 4.3 and 5.6. It has 9 IBUs. Typically, American Hefeweizens come in between 8 and 15. So as you can see, it's kind of on the low end of the ABV scale as well as the low end of the IBU scale. This beer is 2 months before enjoy by date, so it's well within range. Um, Hefeweizens and basically Weiss beers are essentially the same thing. In fact, it's more American to call German Weiss beers Hefeweizen. Hefe means wheat, I'm sorry, yeast, and Weizen means, or Weiss, is it Weiss or Weizen? Weizen means wheat. So suspended yeast basically means is why oftentimes Hefeweizens are hazy, kind of like IPAs. Um, Let's see what else here. Oh, okay. And to be a Hefeweizen, a beer must have, according to the Rheinskott, the German purity laws, a Hefeweizen has to be at least 50% malt. I'm sorry, wheat malt to be a Hefeweizen. Um, Amongst the reviewing community, 7 of my friends on Untapped have given this a cumulative score of 3.82. 55,704 of us have given it a combined score of 3.55. Beer Advocate has had 26 ratings, uh, with a 3.4 average score, cumulatively giving them a 79, which on Beer Advocate's ranking is okay. So, as you can see, it's getting sort of lukewarm results for the most part. Except among my friends. My friends gave it a 3.82. Maybe it's because I have so many Nevada friends and we can get fresher beers because they are just out of Salt Lake City. The description on the back of the can for this beer says this aromatic fruit beer is ripe for the picking. Juicy blueberry meets malted wheat for a light, earthy, and balanced take on a fruited wheat Hefeweizen. I have to admit, I'm not a fan of Hefeweizens. One time I was actually forced, well, not forced, but I was chosen to judge Hefeweizens for home brewing contest. Um, and I did my job. I made sure that they fell within range. Still, I'm not that crazy about Hefeweizens. Going to be using my wit glass. Now, my wit glass, as I understand it, is acceptable for wit beers and wheat beers. This is, in fact, some even go so far as to call this a Hefeweizen glass. So, anyway, I'll probably do another series on beer glasses before very long so we can, just discuss in a little greater detail. So let's see if, okay, there's no blue to add to the blueberry of this. Before I even poured this, I could actually smell the blueberry coming off of this beer. So what you do with the Hefeweizen usually is you pour it, except for the last little bit. You let the head dissipate for a bit, because down here at the very bottom is a very yeasty amount of beer. So let's see here. Guys, what you're seeing is about 1 shade darker than, let's see if I do this. Nope, that doesn't help in the least. In fact, it makes things worse. Okay, so what you're seeing is about, well, 1 shade darker than the actual color of the beer. It does have a lot of carbonation. I mean, this is high carbonation. And that head seems to be fairly resilient. I'm going to give this a quick beard wipe, see if I can come across anything other than the blueberry. I smelled a little bit of that yeast. Going to stick my schnoz directly in, see if I can encounter anything else in the bouquet. Well, there's sort of a sour smell. Gotta admit that's kind of unpleasant, frankly. Yeah, I'm not loving that bouquet. Something weird about that. It's almost like something's gone. Frankly, it smells like something's gone bad. I have to admit. So anyway, what you do is you take the can, that little last little bit, and you swirl it around a bit. You add that to it, because that's the super yeasty part. And let's see if we can. No, no, we're not gonna be able to see. You're not gonna be able to see it coming through and dissipating. So that's kind of a shame. Um, but anyway, there you have it. High carbonation. You're seeing, oh, I'd say, I was gonna say, yeah, at least one shade darker. This is actually much more of a straw color, very pale. I'm gonna go ahead, quit yapping my flap, and hope to hell that that unpleasant smell does not permeate through the taste. So cheers. Okay, so nothing seems to be wrong with the flavor. Whatever it is that I was experiencing in the bouquet is not coming through in the flavor, so must have just been something weird in the blueberries. Maybe the sour of the blueberry, the tartness just created a different aroma. But first impressions, very, very low mouthfeel, almost no spikiness whatsoever. No alcohol burn either. Of course, you know, what do we got? What does it say? 4.8? Yeah, 4.8 ABV. You don't really expect an alcohol burn when the ABV is less than 5%. Um, Not particularly strong in the blueberry flavor, but it is at least keeping at bay that obnoxious banana and clove flavor that usually comes with Hefeweizens. Um, hmm. Yeah, okay. This isn't very Hefeweizen to me. It's not very blueberry. Um, I'm not really sure who would like this beer, to be honest with you. If you're a fan of true Hefeweizens, I don't think you're going to like this beer very much. It's not very heavy. I'm not getting that the familiar clove or banana aroma or uh, or flavor. I'm not even getting that rubber bands taste that sometimes comes from Hefeweizens. I'm not really tasting much blueberry. Uh, yeah, this I can't recommend this beer, gang. I'm sorry, I just can't. I sometimes I can even, you know, if I don't like a beer, I don't think it's particularly good, I'll be able to figure out maybe who who might like it out there. I'm not sure who's going to like this beer. Um, I know I sure don't like it, and frankly, I think this is going to get one of the lowest scores I've ever given a beer. I'm going to give it a 2.25, and it's getting that extra 0.25 for coming in a can. Otherwise, this would get a 2.0. This is not this is not a good beer, and I'm beer fermented with natural blueberry flavoring. Maybe in the fermentation process something went awry. I don't know, but yeah, 2.25 is the best I can give this beer, and like I said, it's getting the extra 0.25 for arriving in a can. Even at a buck 99, it's just not worth the money. So, um, there's many other better beers from Wasatch and Squatters, and I recommend you go to any one of those because this is not the beer to have. So, well, guys, until you know that they can't always be winners, and you know this one just doesn't work for me. So, until next time, drink good beer and don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.